already like half over this class. I think connection is so huge, and having this time in the beginning of class to connect, talk a little bit. My teacher Teresa would quote that the opposite of addiction is connection, and it's not like other sobriety necessarily. It's connection, and so the connection I think is just super important for everybody, especially these people that have been isolated. It's like, oh my, I couldn't even imagine. I live on the same road with my entire family. There's no way I could be isolated. I would like to be a little bit isolated, I think. So we're going to put our feet flat on the floor, sitting up tall, and we're going to start in our mountain pose. So, and actually, let's start a little differently than normal here. Feet are flat on the floor, and I want you to feel like you're pulling your heels back towards you. So for me, what that does is it kind of tips my chair forward, but just have the sensation of isometrically pulling your heels back towards your chair. So it engages your quads, probably some of your hamstrings, and then we're going to press our hands into our thighs and sit up very tall. So we're very active in this seated mountain pose. And like as Carol said before class actually started, we're dedicating this practice, or we'd like to dedicate this practice to all the people that are affected by the things that are going on all over the world, basically, without getting super specific as to what those things are. I think we all know to some level. Pressing our hands into our thighs, our shoulder blades are coming towards each other, so we're opening up the collarbones. We'll take just a few breaths here, maybe sending some love out to the world. Notice what you're bringing to the chair this morning. And then we'll start to release the mountain pose, or ease it up a little bit here. So you can kind of slide your hands down your knees, or down towards your knees, and then round the spine. So you're exhaling, bring the chin towards the chest, rounding the back. And then the inhale, the pelvis starts to tip forward. You're opening through the chest. Maybe your hands come back towards your hips, and you squeeze the shoulder blades together. So go as slow as you want. Usually it's an exhale to round and an inhale to arch or open. So, and right before class started, I posted on Instagram and Facebook. When we were talking, I took a picture. One of my chickens was right in front of the tablet here, looking at the screen. It was pretty cute. So if you get a chance, you can check that out later. So keeping the chin towards the chest, we're going to rise up to a tall spine, still chin towards the chest, and then we're going to roll the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And go as slow as you need to. You can hold here, you can go back and forth. See, how can you not touch your face when it itches? And then bring your chin towards the chest. And then left ear towards left shoulder, so you can go back and forth or hold in any position. And then if you want to, you have the option to tip the head back. I don't personally do that, but if you want to and that feels good to you and it doesn't crunch the back of your neck, you can go ahead and do that. Make full circles in both directions. I just go back side to side, down in the front and side to side. My hair is very heavy too. So like when I turn to one side, my ponytail moves over and it's like an extra yank. We'll eventually come up back into our mountain pose, sitting up tall, shoulders back. We're going to reach for the back of the chair so that the back sides of the chair, you can reach for that, or interlace the fingers behind your back, and we're rolling the shoulders open so that it's possible to reach behind your back and have the shoulders forward. We want to roll them open. So however you do it, whether you're reaching your hands together or the back of the chair, we're rolling the shoulders open. So now something like this, we can sit here for several minutes. We're not going to, but this is something that you can do at home because as we age, we tend to round. And some people like my husband already is very round through the shoulders, and we want, and I want him to bring his shoulder blades together more and try to open up through the chest, because I think for him, it's just going to get worse and he's going to have more pain. But you know, what do I know? Everybody who's married goes, yeah, yeah, we get it. And now we'll release. So we're thinking up and open with the chest all the time. Try not to round. That's just going to make things worse. So we're just going to just concentrate on this, you know, whenever you can. It's also something that I am actively concentrating on, is keeping it up and open. So placing the hands on the shoulders, we're going to take some circles here with the elbows. Focusing on keeping the collarbones open, the chest lifted. And if you ever want to test how you're doing for this kind of stuff, you can do it either laying down, but it's a little, laying down, it's kind of harder to see your natural tendency. But if you stand up against the wall and place your sacrum against the wall, see where your shoulders are. Now, I naturally hinge forward, kind of leaning forward here, and I'll tend to round. So you want to place the shoulder blades against the wall as well, and then the back of the head. Kind of notice how not straight you are. Okay, open up the arms wide, and then exhale, give yourself a hug. So you can give yourself a hug without rounding, keeping the chest lifted. We're going to inhale the elbows up. The chin can rise up as well. And then exhale, bring the elbows back down. Oop, I lost my earbud. Popped right out. And then we'll raise up again. And lower. Open the arms wide. And then give yourself another hug here. And see if you can switch which arm is on top if you haven't switched already. Raise the elbows up. And then down. This is good practice for taking off shirts. Although I think I just kind of go and then flip it off. But this whole action here of kind of opening up your arms. Imagine that you're taking off a sweater and then opening. It's a very dramatic way of taking off your shirt, right? Then a couple more shoulder rolls to the back. We're going to take some wrist rolls. So hand out to the side. You can start with the right or the left. I don't care. Inhaling all the way up, hold at the top if you want briefly, and then wrist roll right back down. Switching sides. And wrist roll back down. Sweep both arms up, inhale. Tall through the spine. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Wrist roll. So I do this class outside when I can. And then I do my evening class outside when I can. And I think it's funny, the just from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, the differences in the birds that are singing and like what they're singing, it sounds different. They're much louder right now. Inhale, both arms up, push the ceiling away. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift or flat back. So you can even think about scooping the sternum, come up, and then exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up, come all the way up to a seat. Tall spine, and exhale, hands to the heart. And then back to the wrist rolls. Switching sides. Kind of funny, as a kid, I'd be like, oh yeah, there's a bird. Ugh, birds. And then now I'm like, ooh, there's a bird. Wonder what kind that is. What does it sing? Where does it live? And fold. The things are interests that change. I mean, thank God for that, but inhale, halfway lift. Exhale again and fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, twist to the right. It's kind of amazing. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. How, like, what's important to us changes. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to the heart. You know, I remember, freaking out when my friends would go out without me, and I would like be so upset they all went out and I didn't, and stuff like that. Now I'm like, oh, you want to go? Have fun. Don't want to go. I want to be home. Or, the things I was interested in, and it seems like so completely out of my nature, but maybe that's where I was all along. I don't know. Inhale, both arms up, push the ceiling away. Exhale and fold, and fold. Baby horses. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, the right knee can come up, give it a squeeze, and give it a hug. And you can take some ankle rolls here. And switch direction. Then we'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, left knee comes up, and give it a squeeze. Take some ankle rolls. Switch directions. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Our last time through, wrist rolls. I don't know if you noticed, but like the side bends from when you maybe when, well, I don't know. I'm speaking for myself here. When I first started doing them, they were a lot more shallow than they have been now. But now I've also noticed that how I side bend way deeper to one side than the other typically. Push the ceiling away and fold. Inhale, halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up, come all the way up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. We're gonna exhale, and the right knee can come up. Give it a squeeze. Inhale, extend. Foot is flexed. You can lower that heel down. It's still kind of damp here, and I don't want to set my foot on the floor or on the ground. My husband said he's going to make me a floating deck. I don't know, really sure what that means, but he's like, it'll be big enough for 2 people to do yoga on. So, as much as I love outdoors, I really get creeped out by bugs and dirt. So, of course, inhale the arms up. Left knee can come up, give it a squeeze. Extend, and then lower. It'll be, my floating deck will be done just in time for in-person classes again. You know, I thought about getting like an extra Wi-Fi thing going, and I'm like, well, how much money do I spend? Because then, like, the moment I get all this stuff, we'll be back to live classes. Fingers crossed. What's up, chicken hawk? We'll sweep the arms up. Get really tall through the spine, and then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Brief moment here to check in. So that little modified or variation of sun salutation is meant to kind of warm things up, get things moving. In a standing class, you get a lot more hip and not really hip, but like hip flexor, not hip flexor, hamstring work, and some kind of pushing sensations. So we're actually going to pretend that we are on our hands here in like plank, let's say. And you're going to bend your elbows so they come back at your sides. And they're brushing against your rib cage. So you're squeezing them back and in. Okay. This would be a chaturanga arm. So if you were in a plank situation, you would kind of tilt forward or push forward on your toes, and then lower yourself to the floor, which can be really difficult on some people's wrists, and then, you know, developing that strength. So we can kind of do it here. So your biceps should be kind of engaged as you're bringing your arms back. And let's do 2 more. You can do this against the wall too, although sometimes it's kind of tricky. And then release. So you should probably feel something from that. A little bit in the wrists, kind of, and the biceps. So again, we're going to bring our hands out in front of us, keeping the arms straight. So let me show you from the side. We've done this in class before. Don't think about online. So we are reaching out in front, and we're round through the upper back here. And then we're going to pull the shoulder blades back towards each other. So the arms don't bend, they stay straight out in front. So you can actually hold something in front and pull your shoulder blades back. I use a yoga block sometimes. Right now I just have my cell phone. Your big coffee mug, and then pull your shoulder blades towards each other. So and you can do this on your hands. You can do this against the wall. It's a scapular push-up. So your scapula, your shoulder blades are the ones that are moving. So this action of pulling them back is important to keep your chest open, your shoulders back, stuff like that. And this kind of feels like the best way to isolate it. I see a lot of people that will just bend their elbows. And if you just bend your elbows, you kind of realize that nothing is really going on with the scapula. Okay, and then lower the hands. So you have your chest lifted, you're in your mountain pose. And this is something I need to work on more because, excuse me, I want to round all the time. We're sitting up tall. We're going to rock to stand here. So just lifting up your seat from the chair, just little bits to start with. You can probably really feel it in your quads. Feel your calves engage. I'm kind of have a heel on my shoe. So it really, really makes me work in the calf department here. And then we'll come all the way up. And we'll move around behind the chair if you can. Hike your pants up if you're losing them. So we're standing up tall, and we're going to inhale. We're going to bring the right arm up. The left hand is on the hip. You can release the hip. This is for support. So we're reaching up and over, taking a side bend. Have the option to reach with the left hand too, and then we're going to come back to center. So you might notice that it's a lot on the core. So if you want to support yourself, you can do that. So then we're bending to the right now with the left hand overhead. So you can try both ways. Bend to the left. Come back to center and bend to the right. And then we're going to do one more to each side, and just notice, imagine yourself kind of in one plane. So we're not twisting. So keep your shoulders in one plane and move to the side. Using your obliques, you're lifting yourself back up to center and reaching to the other side. A lot of people will kind of twist. So take care to notice what plane your body is in. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. We'll sweep the arms up. We'll exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair, move back into your downward facing dog. So this would also be part of a warm up here, where you start to lengthen maybe the hamstrings a little bit, or at least add some tension to them. Now, if it's really tight or it's starting to kind of pull on your low back, bend your knees. Notice how that changes things. And then eventually over time, maybe you start to straighten the legs, but let's not worry about that too much. We'll inhale, bring your gaze towards the chair. Exhale, step the right foot as far forward towards the chair as you can. So your right knee is bent, your left leg is straight, and you're kind of engaging that left leg. You're like putting some strength in it here. And we'll inhale one or both arms up overhead, totally up to you, depending on how your balance is. If your legs are farther apart to the left and the right, you might find that you're a little bit more balanced. So you can play around also too with how far apart your feet are. Inhale here. Exhale, place the hands down. You're going to step your right leg back to meet the left, and you're back into your downward facing dog. Every once in a while, maybe you start to straighten the legs a little bit more, play around, but definitely bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot as far forward as you can. Right leg is now straight, the left one is bent. Both legs are strong. Lift up into your crescent lunge. So if your heel is down, your right heel is down, that's more of like a warrior one. If your heel is lifted, that's a crescent lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, place your hands on the back of your chair. Step your left foot back to meet the right, back into your chair pose. Inhale, look at the chair. Step both feet forward. Now we're opening through the chest here, so rolling the shoulders back, bringing your shoulder blades towards each other. You can come up onto the balls of the feet, and then lower the heels. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, bring them back to the heart. We'll inhale the arms up. And then exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair and notice which one you want to step back with first. Maybe you want to switch. Come back into your downward facing dog. Now, if you're doing a bunch of these on your own, maybe you would want to do, you know, step back with the right foot, and then the next time you step back, you would do it with the left. Inhale, look at the chair. I want you to hug the right knee in towards the chest. Squeeze it in towards the chest. And then as you're exhaling, stepping the right foot forward. You can inhale one or both arms up. And we're going to go really slowly. We're going to exhale and twist to the right. So use the chair if you need to for balance. Your legs stay exactly as they are in your crescent lunge. Remembering that your feet farther apart to the left and to the right actually gives you a little bit more stability, so you can move the feet. Inhale back to center. Exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair and step back into your downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Notice how you feel. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot forward, but we're bringing it in towards the chest as much as we can. I almost forgot to do that. Inhale the arms up. We're going to exhale, twist to the left. You can always use a hand for stability. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair. Step that left foot back to meet the right. Take a breath or two here. We're going to inhale, look at the chair. We're going to step the right foot forward. Okay, so the right foot is facing the chair and the left foot is too right now, but we're going to angle the heel down. So I'm going to come to the side here so you can see. My right knee is facing the chair. My left knee went from here to here. So now my left knee is pointing out to the left and my right knee is pointing towards the chair. You float the hands. This is your warrior two position. And you want to be right over your hips. So our upper body isn't facing, leaning towards the right leg or the left. It's right over the center. Both legs are equally holding you. Now, if you can try to pull your heels towards each other. So isometric again. So we'll bend, or we'll straighten the right leg. You're gonna reach over your chair. So your hand goes from like the back of the chair forward towards over the seat. Your right hand is over the seat and then come back to center. Reach over the seat. So you're leaning kind of forward here and then back. And this time we're gonna lean over the seat and maybe press your hand down on the seat or the back of the chair. And your left arm can come all the way up towards the ceiling. Good. You might want to rotate your hand so that your palm is facing the left. There you go. Good. Pressing down into that right leg, come all the way back up to your standing position. And then exhale, let the arms come down. Now I'm going to move my chair to the other side. We're going to come back to your mountain pose. So you're back at the front of your chair. Your left leg steps back up to meet the right. And then we will step. Just trying to think of how it's going to look. Okay. Excuse me. We're going to step back with the left leg. Still facing the wrong way. I don't know. I'm all messed up on directions here. So our right leg's going to come back and angle the right heel down. Yeah. What was I doing? I think I had a little problem with right and left again. So the left knee is facing the chair, the right leg is now straight, and you're also facing the right foot out towards the right. So instead of here for crescent lunge, It rotates with the heel down. The arms can come up. This whole right, left, looking into the camera. So we're very strong here, and we're pulling the heels towards each other. And you're right over your hips again. Okay, we're gonna straighten that left leg, and you're gonna reach forward over your chair, and then back. Reach forward over the chair, and back. We'll do 2 more. Reach forward over the chair, and back. And then if you want to reach over the chair and rotate or pivot so that your hand comes to the back of the chair, and then the right arm can come all the way up, and your palm is facing the right. Pressing into that left leg, you're gonna come all the way back up, and exhale, bring the hands down, the arms down. All right, and come move the chair either in front of us, behind us, beside us, however you want to. We're gonna set up for our tree pose. Always got to get that balance stuff in. I got big stupid shoes on right now, so I'll probably break my neck. All right, pressing into the right leg. Right leg is very strong, so we're not, shooting our hips out to the right. We want to keep our right leg straight down. Left knee can point out to the left along with the toes. You can bring it up, totally up to you. Strong right leg. Pressing into the floor. And take any arm variation that you want. Big inhale here, lengthens through the spine. Exhale, set the left foot down. March it out if you want to. And then we're gonna shift to the other side here. So the left leg is our standing leg now, pressing down into the floor. The right leg can turn out to the right. You can stay here or come in or come up. Totally up to you. We're just not stepping on our joints here. We're not pressing into our knee. I was doing a little mental celebration on my right side, going, look how balanced I am. I'm doing so good. And then I come over here to the left side, and I'm like, who is this over here? I think it's definitely good to celebrate your little victories, but don't get cocky. Take a big inhale, lengthen up tall, and then exhale, lower that right foot. Life has a real way of, anytime I start to get cocky, it just kicks me right in the pants. Every time. Like it's instant karma for me. It happens every single time. I start to get a little cocky. Like, look at me, look at what I can do. And then it's like, boom. Come around in front of our chair. We're gonna do my head's coming right off the screen. We're gonna do our 1 minute-ish of our squat variation. So you can be in chair, goddess. I'm gonna mix it up. I usually do goddess every time. I'm gonna do chair. I'm gonna do my legs together chair. So this is a little bit harder balance-wise for most people. So the objective would be to kind of really press everything in towards the inside or the center line. And now I want you to call into your mind something that brings you joy. So mixing it up a little bit. Normally I talk about gratitude and being grateful, but I think joy is something underlooked, like gratitude is kind of like, oh, I'm grateful for my family. But what actually, like, what's, not to sound like Marie Kondo, but what sparks joy? What makes you a little twinkly in the eye? What is that? Also maybe something you're grateful for. That's, I think, pretty clear. Take a big inhale here. And then exhale, come all the way down into the chair. Woo, that's a workout on the quads today, I think. All right. So we're going to interlace the hands, interlace the fingers here. Press the forearms together if you can. It's quite a workout on the shoulders here, so get as close as you can, and then figure eight the wrists. If you're out here, it's totally cool. Switch directions if you can, excuse me. And then shake them out. So we're gonna press the palm away from us with the fingers pointed down, and we'll gently hold the fingers, but move them back towards our body. And then each finger, starting with the thumb, reaching underneath. And when you're kind of taking more time, you might do a full inhale and exhale, or maybe two on each finger. And then shake it out. Shoulder roll. And then other side. So palm facing away. The chicken I got from Carol, we call her Lucy. She's been broody, and she just ran by. She's been broody, so she wants to have babies, but you know, we don't have any roosters, so she's been sitting on golf balls, because when they are broody, they also don't lay anymore. They don't lay any more eggs. So she's just, you know, wants to be a mama of some golf balls. And so she just went by, and sometimes when you take them off the nest, so we'll like carry them around a little bit, carry the hen around to be like, hey, you don't want to be a mom right now. It's not a good time for you. And shake it out. Some shoulder rolls. So she'll like actually be really mad, and she'll like stomp around. So now she's taking a dirt bath, and another hen just went over and pecked her, because, you know, when you call attention to yourself stomping around, other chickens come over to check out what your deal is and tell you to fix yourself. Bring your hands out in front, thumb on top, fingers pull tucked in, and we're going to lift the thumbs. So my fingers are facing each other. Thumbs can be on top here, and we're lifting the thumbs. Now Carol's like, I did this in riding lessons, right? Back in the day. Kind of, so we're tilting the thumbs back towards our face. And then we're gonna turn, so this would be puppy paws in horseback riding. The fingers are pointed down. And like if you're on a motorcycle, you just roll it back here. I don't know, it's been a while since I've ridden my motorcycle, so I'm not really sure. Like, maybe we're popping wheelies, I'm not sure, I don't remember. Good, and then shake it out. Always for the shoulder rolls. Okay, and now we'll start our tapping. So keeping the shoulders relaxed. I think I've talked about Chicken Hawk, which is that little teeny tiny chicken. She's actually the one I took a picture of this morning. She's the one that's over there going after Lucy for being broody. All I can picture is her saying like, this is not the time to bring chicks into the world. What is your problem? Heels of the hands. We're tapping again. She's the tiniest little chicken I have. I have no idea how much she weighs, but she is all attitude. So funny. So Lucy is like digging a hole in the dirt, and Chicken Hawk goes over and pecks her. Bottoms of the thumbs. Yeah, when all this COVID stuff is done, you guys got to come over and see the birds. They're so funny. So then flat hand, and we're punching into that palm. And then like, I'll be here during the day and I'll hear some really loud squawking. You swear to God, my whole flock's getting massacred. I come out and somebody's just like in the nesting box that somebody else wants. Switch hands. Just caught myself all hunched over. And the backs of the hands. And then switch. And then interlace. The bees are out doing all kinds of bee things. Switch. And then the webbing between the thumb and the forefinger. And then switch the other side. I have a tiny little black hen that's freaking out front, so I was wondering what was going on. Again, no idea. And then we take our prana excited hands here, and we're going to place them on a body part that is challenging to us, whatever that might be. Sending our awareness, our love, energy to those spots or spot. Maybe send some like appreciation or gratitude for those spots. I took one training and it was talking about like how the body experiences pain to tell you, you know, that something's wrong. Yeah. Yeah, there's something wrong with my knees. So, and then we'll very slowly remove the hands. And we're gonna find kind of a comfy seat. We're gonna do a little bit of self-Reiki here. We haven't done that in a while. So you can, totally up to you, you can rest your hands on the body parts that I mentioned or just hover above. It's kind of interesting to feel the energy of just hovering your hands above something. And for me, touching that actual spot, I become my hands and not the spot I'm hovering. Hands, you're much more aware of it than you know, maybe touching it with the side of your leg. So you're gonna take your hands and place them over your eyes. So again, you don't have to touch your eyes, you don't have to touch your face, but just maybe like an inch or so away from your face or as close as you can get without touching. At each place I mention, I want you to bring your awareness to those spots and just take a breath. Nice big full inhale and exhale, maybe 1 or 2 full breaths. And now over your cheeks and jaw. Now we're going to place our hands over our throats. Now, if that feels uncomfortable to you, you can skip it. If anything ever feels uncomfortable to you and you want to skip it, go ahead. And then the hands on top of the shoulders with the fingers pointed back. And the hands over the heart. And then the bottom of the ribs, covering over top of the bottom of the ribs. And then over the belly. Over the hip flexors or lap area. Over the knees. If you can reach, you can put your hands over your feet or, anywhere that you can reach, or you can just keep them at your knees. And then your low back. Now this one here I find creates more tension if I'm trying to hover my hands, so I will place my hands on my low back. And then over the ears. And then the back of the head and the top of the head. And we can gently rest our hands back in our lap. Keep your eyes closed if you want, or a soft gaze. Now, Reiki is kind of meant to allow the body to heal itself, which are a lot of modalities: chiropractic, sound therapy, all these different therapies. They basically all have the same idea that your body can take care of itself and heal itself once you kind of open up these pathways and different things. So even if you don't feel any openings or any kind of thing like that, but just even allowing your body to relax, maybe even more fully than normal, or just kind of focusing on different parts of the body can help those parts relax. You might feel, for a long time when I would put my hands over my heart, I would feel pressure. Even if I wasn't touching my chest, I would feel pressure every time I placed my hands over my heart. And, in my Reiki training, it was talking about like maybe, there's issues with the heart, not necessarily physical issues, but like grieving or different things. And I was definitely grieving at that time. So I think there's definitely something to it, but if it's just relaxing to you, then that's great. So we'll take just a few more breaths here. And then we'll place our hands over our heart. Now again, we can send love out beyond ourselves. Love, support, connection, anything that you can think of, in a positive way to send out into the world. And then even thinking of a way to be your best self or more positive self, and maybe you are this person every day, every moment, but maybe for today you think about, if you want to get judgy, if you want to say, oh, that person's crazy, or that, things like that, you can wish the best for them, wish them well, wish them a way to find a way out of whatever kind of pain they're in, to be a better person themselves. And then we'll thank ourselves for being here and practicing together this morning. May we all feel loved. May we all feel grateful. May we all feel connected and have the strength and courage to overcome all the obstacles that will inevitably be before us. My heart to your heart. Peace and namaste. Thank you, ladies.